Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, March 13th, 8:40 p.m. Thank you so much for being live with us. We are live. We are on the dawn of hopefully making history against a very tough opponent, Tigres from Monterrey, Mexico. Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League 2023. Our first time playing that tournament. Definitely, if Orlando gets a W, they will be making the statement of the year, I believe, in the league. And I hope that that will carry on for more people to talk about Orlando City, their fan base, the team, their coach, and we can get that press that we're certainly deserve. So, thank you so much for being live with us. Drop us a like, subscribe. And Paola, how are you today? Welcome back. I know you were gone a couple of days.
I'm absolutely excited for this week. A little bit nervous, but as usual, happy Friday. Friday. My head is on Friday. Happy Monday. Excited to be here and sorry that I missed last episode, but I had to prepare for my tournament on Saturday, but happy to be here with y'all.
Fantastic. John, how are you, my friend? How's everything?
Good, thanks, buddy. Excited for big game on Wednesday. Can't wait.
Yep, definitely. And I want to tell everyone we have also a giveaway going on. A giveaway going on. Let me pull it up right now. It's on our Instagram page as well as on our Twitter. It was announced today. We're giving away two tickets, a pair of tickets to the Tigres game. I don't know if you want to give more insight about that, John. For you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, you gotta subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you've done that, and then you gotta go ahead and leave us a comment in the comment section for this video. Just use the hashtag Loud and Proud Orlando, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and wait 24 hours for people to get their submissions in, and then this time tomorrow we'll pull out two winners. So there'll be two winners of a pair of tickets each, and then we will go ahead and contact you, let you know, and then I'll send you the tickets over so that you can come join us at the game for hopefully a sold out crowd on Wednesday. I've
Yeah,
noticed there's been a
There's
it's
no
few.
excuses.
We're
We're
getting
giving
close. We're
away
getting close to
tickets.
selling it out. So
yeah. There's no excuses. There's no excuses to sell it out. A lot of people put a lot of time, just doing other things online. But you gotta sell out Exploria. That's the only way that the club is gonna get their name out there. And looking at how many seats there are left, I mean, it looks pretty full to me. I mean, there's still a couple of seats. This was like around maybe 4 o'clock this evening. This picture I took was about 4 o'clock this evening. So it should be less than that now. But I mean, it's getting filled up. So I mean, the wall is completely sold out.
well,
So
we got 1,000 Tigres fans coming.
yeah,
So we got to make sure that we are there representing. We saw how loud they were at the Volcan. So, we got to make sure that we are showing what we can do here in Orlando and really packing the house.
that's right. That's right. So let's read some comments here before we start and diving into the topic. So we're going to start talking about DC first. DJ Thompson, Manchester City and Orlando City have second leg Champions League ties on consecutive nights. My week could go really good or really shits. There
You could
you
have
go.
goals from both Hollands.
There you go.
There you
Both
go. That's
Hollands.
what you need.
And it was cool to see him. Do you see that flip? Man. Oh, man.
It was like vintage Kyle Laren.
Yeah, it's like vintage Nani as well, didn't it? Did Nani do those flips too? Interesting.
Yep.
I want to say hello to Amanda Barry. Thank you so much, Amanda. He said we have the best keeper in the MLS and the best team captain in Upset Go City. Hashtag Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much, Amanda, for dropping your hashtag. Joshua Tall, excellent point. Amanda, Joshua Tall, I've been very impressed with Galese. I'm really hoping we win Wednesday and Saturday. Now, I want to say something real quick that it's really been bothering me. Look, guys, Orlando City last season, they won the U.S. Open Cup. People still talk trash about the team. People say, merry-go-lucky fans, merry-go-lucky, journalists, super hopeful. I mean, you either want to be destructive or constructive. You know what I mean? There's one thing about definitely putting your outlook of what happened in a game. And the second thing, it's just being completely destructive and just being a Debbie Downer. We really hear a lot of probably don't want to be Debbie Downers on the dawns of making history. It will like shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, do you really want to be a Debbie Downer? I mean, I've seen pundits that even don't even live in the state. They live in La La Land in a difference. They're not even in Florida, and they call themselves pundits, and they're writing all this stuff about analyzing so many stuff. Guys, this is the reason why in the United States our culture, soccer culture, is in diapers. It's because we overanalyze the freaking data. Stop analyzing the freaking data, man. Nobody cares. We're on the dawn of making history, my friend. Am I gonna go sit here and oh my God, we only had two goals scored? Come on, man. Like, we're gonna go and definitely want to be the best team ever. It doesn't matter who scores. If the score is 1-0 against Tigres, we're gonna win this series. We're gonna be eliminating Tigres. It's a huge statement. And what are pundits gonna say then? They're gonna look at the negative of a win. You're gonna look at a negative of a win. I just don't get it. I don't know, John. I mean, I've read so many stuff. Like, the people are like I don't know, like they're upset that Orlando's winning. That's what it seems like.
I think people are just they're a little tired of what I would call pappy ball, like the one nothing trying to hold on, right? Which you have to understand. That's the way that he wants to play. That's the style of soccer that we've been playing the last 3 or 4 years. So you can't be surprised when that's how we play again this year. But if you look at those results, really, that's a win and 2 draws out of our first 3 MLS games, and then a draw away at the most difficult place to go in the Champions League. That's some great results. And yeah, I know it's not the most exciting soccer at times, and I don't think we're clicking 100% offensively yet. So I think just people have a little patience, like we won the Open Cup last year. That's the biggest thing we've done in a long time. And I understand the frustrations. I agree. I'm not 100% on board with the, get 1 goal and sit and try and defend. I understand where people are coming from on that point. But at the end of the day, we're doing a lot better than we were last year and a lot better than the year before that. So progress is happening. We're moving forward. And give Papi the season with these players. Let him do what he wants to do. And if at the end of the season we go out of the playoffs, maybe things are a little bit underwhelming, then I think this ownership group has maybe got it in them to say, we're not going to wait around and we're going to go out and find a new coach. And that might be the move, right? But until that happens, this is us. This is Orlando City. So, I say get behind it and be supportive. And, don't be so down on the fact we haven't lost yet in MLS.
Right.
We might have had a slow start, but that's not a bad start. I think there's just a lot of positives. And I think that, some people tend to focus on the negatives, which I agree there are some. But overall, we've had and also I'd like to say that it's a very difficult start to the season. This is not easy to play this many games this quickly, the beginning of the season, against tough opposition, by the way. And I think we've done very well to come out with it with a win and 2 draws. So that's my 2 cents.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And, there's people that call it soccer terrorism, right? And I just call it, you got to win no matter what. It's the game. The game is you either win, tie, or lose. I'd rather tie or win than lose. I don't care how you do it or what the measures are, or where the stats are, or how many players are out, down and out. I just want to win. And I mean, I don't know if I see it a different way than other people, but I don't sweat the small stuff.
Paula, how do you see it?
People are like blind. I don't know. If we compare last season, first 3 games, first was against Montreal. It was 2-0, first W. This year, we got a first W, 1-0 Red Bulls. Take it or leave it, PK. I don't care. We got 3 points. Second game, new. That's a tie. Point. I will take it. And people don't realize that we're rotating players. If Pareja doesn't care about the players, he would have put every single player from the starting formation, the starting 11 on each game against even against Tigres. If he wouldn't care. He said it in one of the interviews. Maybe the players doesn't like my rotation, but at the end of the day is great reward at the end of the season. And that's what we're looking right now. We went to DC, players from the bench started. People don't realize that too. People from the bench started and they had a phenomenal game. So we can say, and we have been saying this from the last episode, we feel comfortable that we have an amazing bench this year. Papi can rotate. Last season, we didn't have that in our power. So I don't know. Probably people wants to see a lot of goals in the first games and then nothing at the end of the season. I would start by seeing these results that we're undefeated in MLS, undefeated, and I think we made history in the entire league. If I'm not mistaken, John, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or Luis, but we're making history, and people don't realize that because, or we're not scoring enough, but they're gelling, they're still communicating, they're still trying to see, okay, let me pass it here or not, but it
People,
takes time.
I feel sometimes, and we're gonna be watching that. Look at the goal right here. This is history right here. Okay, right there, Duncan McGuire. He's not gonna stop scoring now. Like
No,
like
that's fuel for
you got
him.
like I would like to see more posts about Duncan McGuire being our next number 9 for the next few seasons and being so happy for him, and talk about that flip. Then people saying how many, only one shot on goal in 3 games, man. Like, I mean, I understand there's an issue there. I mean, yeah, our attack is a little dwindling down a little bit. I think, we're relying a lot of the youth, but our DP may not be working as we as the performance as we wanted to. But I mean, we're on the dawns of making history. Why just encase yourself on that? When you have such a great movement, and not only for Orlando, it's for the whole MLS like system.
I think
Duncan McGuire, right?
it's a statement about how strong our depth is, that this year
Exactly.
actually the players that are performing the best players are the guys that we would have put in the second 11 or like the backup reserve guys, like the ones who are looking for me the sharpest this season are guys like Mikey and Petrasso and Dagger Dan and Duncan McGuire, Enrique, people who excite me on the field, who I think are performing well, are not necessarily the top players. Now, that's great if we can get guys like Ojeda and Torres and Cara also going as well, then we're going to have a really, really strong squad. So I don't think there's too many negatives to be focusing on, and it's too early in the season to be focused on these negatives. You know what I mean? Like if we're in playoff time and we're playing like this and we're not scoring goals, then I'm like,
That
yeah, okay,
I
I'm
will be
really
concerned.
worried. Yeah, but
Exactly.
I think people just need to take a minute and calm down and reflect. And yes, it's not the most exciting soccer right now, but we're getting the results, and that's what matters.
Hey, against DC, we had more shots than the other last 2 games. Well, 3 games if we count Tigres. I'm just focusing on MLS. But we had more shots on goal and more shots. So, hey, that's a positive side. They were not in the goal, only one, but we stole a freaking point against Rooney. I don't care. I don't care. Like I was so nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching the game in the Magic game. I was in a basketball game, and I was the only one with my phone watching the game. I didn't care. I was like, and that
There
game
was
that was a game that it was really good, but I was watching my boys playing on Saturday, so that
look,
says a lot.
there was no way, and I'll be honest with you. I've seen the repeat of that. Yeah, there might have been a little bit of been a little, a little permissive. I'll say a little permissive for Orlando City not to maybe mark that attacker well. It was a rookie too, I want to say, for DC who scored. But it was a golazo, man. I mean, it was a fantastic goal. I mean, there was no way to stop. Galese could have not done anything to stop that goal. Uh, Chris Durkin, he scored a phenomenal goal. There was really no way of stopping it. The curve, the way he shot the ball.
It was a
Yeah,
golazo.
we gave him the freedom to maybe do it because of it was Orlando was maybe physically a little tired. He didn't get he had fresher legs. He saw an opening and he took advantage of it. But in the end, the game was not lost. And again, let's listen to some of the expectations and comments from Oscar Pareja from the press conference real quick.
All right, we'll start with head coach Oscar Pereira.
Well, first,
Can you hear it?
I thought it was a good entertaining game for the people, especially because they saw the fun of the teams, the energy, and good. I think both teams wanted to just walk out with the 3 points because at some point of the game in the second half, we thought that we got it. And then DC after the goal probably thought the same. So we're working with this one with satisfaction. We're good. And a good result for us. And now concentrated in the midway game. The boys did a great effort. Has been a busy week for us. Today just working with a point from the state against a good team like this is this game.
So pretty much she said, I don't know if you could hear it, but I mean, he put his B squad and they got a tie away. There was really nothing else that he could say, but kudos to that squad. I mean, and there were a lot of highs that this squad had. Duncan McGuire being one of them. Willer Cartagena is still performing very well. I will say Rafael Santos stepping up. I think he had a really great game, and we'll analyze right now that real quick. In the meantime, we'll wait for our guests to come in for the Tigres game. Hold on, let me pull up the lineup real quick here. What were your expectations, or how do you, after the tie, how do you leave there, John? Here's the lineup right here.
Yeah, I mean, I think some guys had really good performances and others not so much. I think Facu was one that kind of went missing in this game. I think maybe having a newborn baby is affecting him, which is totally understandable. Woken up in the middle of the night, but he looked tired, and so he came off early. I think it was always going to be the plan to give Ojeda 45 minutes and Torres 45 minutes. But regardless, I think there was no issue with bringing him off early. For me, the real standout stars have got to be Dagger Dan and Mikey Halliday. Sorry, not Mikey Halliday and Duncan McGuire. I feel like both of those guys just really hustled all night and ran and just caused problems for the DC backline. And that goal that they scored was essentially them just not giving up. And I think a lot of people have said like, he's just in the right place at the right time. And I don't think that's a valid point to make about. And I think it's kind of unfair to a guy who scored his first MLS goal. Right. And the reason he's in that place is because he hustled to get in that position, and his body is in the right position to redirect the ball into the goal. So it's a very mature striker thing to do. It's something you kind of see a classic poacher, like a guy like Chicharito, do all day long. So I don't agree with people saying that. I think that's unfair. And I also think that, like you said, this was a mix of an A and a B squad. I think there was some first-team players in there, but mainly a lot of B-team guys. So the fact that we got a draw away from DC is a great result with that team.
Now, Paula, do you feel you can rely on this B team squad when it comes to depth? Now, we're talking about Leagues Cup. We're talking about, U.S. Open Cup. Like and I'll talk about it after you, but I feel like some of the players in this starting 11 against DC, they really put their name out, and they shined. I don't know, what were your thoughts regarding that, Paola?
No, absolutely. We saw it with Maguire, we saw it with Dagger, and we saw it with Santos too. I was worried about Santos because when I saw him against the New England in the preseason, he wasn't like, and I cannot judge him, right? He was like 2 weeks in with the squad or less, and you could see that he was a little bit lost. But now with the C, now I can feel okay. Now his head is with the team. He was defending really well. Cartagena, if he keeps playing like he's playing, I wouldn't. If we, I was outsider from Orlando City fan, right? And watching the DC against Orlando, you wouldn't tell that Cartagena had played against Tigres. So if he plays like he's playing, I see him starting as the backup formation or even taking another position squad. Mauricio is not having, I'm going to say it. Mauricio is not having the passes like last season.
Right.
So we could see some changes there. But at the same time, I feel comfortable. Salim didn't had, the most best game, but still he's a rookie and he's learning how to play with this squad. So I feel 100% comfortable with this squad. If you asked me last year, I wouldn't had the same answer. So
Now, I am gonna say Salim. We called it on the previous show that he was gonna start, and he had his first mistake. I see a few mistakes in his coverage down in the back, and I do believe that he will get better. But Benteke also, I'll be honest with you, Benteke should have scored that. I don't want to take any credit of Pedro Galese. He's a fantastic keeper. Me seeing him in national team and in the Peruvian national team, I know his level, and I know that he was gonna definitely take a peek out of that and definitely ruin Benteke's party. But you have to understand that Benteke should have scored that. That tells you too that DC was a team that didn't capitalize on the opportunities. Now, when it comes to Pereira, I have a feeling that the position that he's playing right now, he plays a natural 10 position, in my opinion. He doesn't feel himself and right now we're seeing for the first time in many years that Orlando can play with two defensive midfielders, and a 6 and an 8, and actually excel in the mid. Like Cartagena right now, and I called it in the first few episodes on the new season here at Loud and Proud. I said this is Cartagena's year. This is the time in which he either wants to stay in the national team, or he wants to go down and have somebody else take his place. And right now, the level that he's playing in Orlando, he's definitely showing a lot of progress. And he's reminding me of that Cartagena when he played in Argentina. So it's good to see that. And Dagger Dan was spot on. Nothing to say. He conducted the ball more than Facundo Torres. And that's another point. What are your thoughts regarding Facundo, John? He just seems that he's not all there.
Yeah, it could be a number of things. It could be the potential move in this, that never worked out, that he was going to go to Arsenal maybe. That can sometimes affect a player. It could be the situation with Ojeda coming in and, like we talked about last week, with them not really being able to fit together and gel together well. Something's off. It's hard to say what, but it could just be a slow start for him. I still think all the quality is there. So anybody talking about Facundo is not a good soccer player, I think is very misinformed. He's a very, very good soccer player. He's just not having a bad patch of form. and he'll come out of it. It'll end soon, I'm sure.
Let's read some comments here. Colin Garvey makes a fantastic question. I want to give kudos to Colin. And do you think Pereira sitting deeper has reduced Facundo's effectiveness?
That's a really good question.
You can make a really good point.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
I think both of them feel uncomfortable playing their positions right now. I think Facundo wants to be more free down in the mid. He doesn't feel as free as, right behind the striker, because in the end, in transition attack, he goes behind the striker. He's not a second striker, even though this is a 5-3-2 formation. And Mauricio ends up being more of like a second defensive midfielder, and I don't feel he feels comfortable playing that position, in my opinion, either. I don't know. What do you think about that, Paola?
I think Colin hit the nail where it had to be said. I seen Pereira way off, Facu as well, and I saw a video of Facu playing Peñarol, obviously differently, right? And I don't know, maybe it's tactics. What Pareja is trying to see with them, I really don't know, but I feel that, like you just said, Mauricio
Yeah,
and Facu is not playing at the level that they should be playing.
I mean, people are putting that video of Facundo Torres doing that tiki taka with Peñarol. I'm just gonna say those kids have been playing together since they're like 13.
Years, yeah.
So guys, like, if you guys don't know, don't put it. I mean, don't talk trash. You're not gonna expect that with Facundo and 5 other guys that
And Ojeda, he just got here.
He just met last year. Like, come on, man. Like, if you want Orlando to play like, like a Tesla, you just all automate it. You ain't gonna have that. I'm sorry, because there's always new signings, and a lot of people don't realize it. But the MLS is a league that it's growing in intensity, physicality, and speed. And South America is actually, and I want to be completely honest here, aside of Argentina and aside of Brazil, like, they're the only 2 leagues down south, with the respect of Uruguay, that would compare to that speed that the MLS has right now, especially from the mid all the way on to the striker position. I really don't see any other leagues that will compare to that. I mean, physicality here, it's tremendous. So it's difficult for some players. There is some more comments. It says, eat trauma. It says, it's all good. Our group needs more time to gel. Chad Elders, food for thought. I don't think Pereira is the best player who's playing at that 8 spot. I would like to see Cartagena and Dagger Dan in that CDM spot. What are your thoughts regarding that, John? I believe he's right.
Well, I think what you're going to see is, over the course of this season, a natural progression of one of those guys phasing Mauricio out of the team. And not that I don't love Mauricio. I just think that the guy is, 32, 33. He's naturally going to play less and less games. Someone is going to come in and replace him in that position next to Araujo. I think it's going to be either Cartagena or it's going to be Dagger Dan, depending on, whether we want to be more defensive or whether we want to be more attacking. They're 2 very different midfielders, So, but I do think that will happen over the course of this season. And I agree that maybe we haven't seen the best from Mauricio so far this year, but he did play quite well in that position last year. Like, when we moved him back there, and you had Pato playing the 10. So I think the problem is more not necessarily the positions that everybody's playing. I think it's just the fact that we've had to change the squad for every game. So there's no consistency. So you've got, last year there's a relationship between Torres and Pereira they relied on for games because they were playing every game. This year so far, it just hasn't been the case. So we're missing that, what I would call just consistency of squad, which we have to rotate. We have to do that right now. So when we're able to play the same team and we've got one team per week and the rotation isn't so heavy, I think then you'll kind of see more relationships develop, and I don't think it'll be a big issue having Mauricio back there.
I agree with you. Let's before we read some more comments, I'm gonna play. There was a big thing happened last game. This gentleman right here, the Holland of the Heartland, Mr. Duncan McGuire, he scored, and he did a flip like Kyle Aaron did it at some point. Nani as well, and so now he's the third player that does the flip. So let's put his what were his thoughts regarding that goal.
How you dreamed it would be?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely something you dream of as a kid. So definitely, it's exactly what I thought it would be. It was an unbelievable experience. And I hope it's the choice of many.
You played a lot in preseason. Obviously, first start tonight. Did you think it would come so soon? Like, did you have a feeling like early on, like, all right, I'm kind of getting the groove here?
I definitely felt confident. I definitely went with mentality today that I was going to score. I had a feeling that I was feeling good when I woke up this morning. So I'm glad that it happened. But yeah, I definitely felt good throughout the game, and I knew our chances were coming.
Your first year pro, not only just coming into MLS, but coming into a team that has really kind of big objectives. It just won a trophy last year. You're playing for the honor to possibly be considered the best team on the continent. Like, what's that learning curve like, and what have you learned in the time?
I mean, it's definitely a step up from where I've come from, but it's definitely everything that I've expected it to be, and the standards that they hold us to are very high. But it's definitely a fun team to be around, and they make it very enjoyable. So we're definitely hungry as a team, and we're excited as the season goes on.
Oscar talked about these games as an opportunity to make sort of the whole team feel included. Like, how important is that for you personally, and as you guys, as good as the competition is in training, there's only so many spots on the field, and to be able to contribute and to be able to feel part of this thing so soon into your career.
It's definitely good to get everyone minutes on the team. Definitely helps later in the season if there's injuries or someone can't play for a suspension. Definitely it's good to get minutes on the guys' belts to get them getting ready for whenever things called. So I think it's definitely worked out well for us today, and I think it's a good plan by the coaches.
There you go, guys. He's going to score more goals. That's just the way I see it. He has a really great work ethic. He won in the college level, and now he is winning in the MLS. So hopefully to see him thrive in Orlando. And another player that it's, in my opinion, one of the best players in Orlando City, and it's one of Orlando's own, is Mikey Holiday. Like, a lot of people downplay the level Mikey Holiday is playing right now. If I'm the new head coach of the U.S. men's national team, I'll probably be looking at Mikey Holiday right now, because I didn't personally. I don't like what I'm seeing down in South Florida, right there in that team that has that flamingo, Mr. Left back, former Newcastle player. I'm not even going to mention him, but I think Michael Holiday is definitely making a statement. Hopefully, he keeps growing, and that's one of our own. That's one of our own players, right? It says a lot about our academy, about our system, about the culture of the club too. So we definitely should feel proud about that, right, Paula?
Absolutely. It motivates the academy players right now. That's their motivation from Apopka, Florida. There you go. And I don't know if you guys talked it on last episode, but he wasn't scared against Tigres. He was holding the fort right there, and I would have been scared. First time internationally playing. Those fans are not easy, and he hold the fort. So kudos to him.
He actually looked like one of our best players out
Yes.
there. Like, I genuinely think he's been one of our best, like in the back line, our best player so far this season, which is crazy to say about a guy that everybody was like, oh, he's going to, we need to sign a right back. I'm a little bit worried. And 4 games in the season, and
I was one of them.
He's already proved that we didn't need to sign a right back because he's got us covered.
So thank you, Mikey, for shutting me up. So that's what I like. Just keep
just wait till
improving.
Alex Freeman comes along and starts doing the same thing, and then we'll have two of them,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
everybody, then we'll be laughing.
That's right. And then my boy Brendan Hackenberg. Never know. Brendan Hackenberg. There you go. Etromic. It's all good. Our group needs time to gel. There you go. Jeffrey O. Huh? It says saludos. What will be the last draw before Oscar is out? Any perspective on a new manager? I want Mourinho.
You're just trading one defensive manager for another.
Right?
It's the same. If we got
Just
Mourinho
because-
in and played the
Just because
same
people
soccer,
don't because people don't know what it's coming. They just see Mourinho. They're like, oh my god, great, fantastic.
yeah, everyone wants us to play like Leeds, just all out attack all the time.
Right.
Which like Oscar's, he's not going anywhere unless we really start underachieving. Oscar's the man for now.
Right. I think Oscar's has done a great job. When he first came, I'll be honest with you, this was before I covered the team. I really was like, he's a manager that failed in at Liga MX. Why you give him a chance in MLS now? But I didn't realize the background he had in FC Dallas. And then you saw the product that came out of that academy.
Like, he is
Right?
responsible for building lots of the FC
Right,
Dallas
Weston-
Academy,
yeah,
which
Weston
a lot of these guys
Academy,
that are playing in their team now
Pulisic, yeah,
were here under Oscar's time. So
exactly.
that's part of the
So-
reason we bought him, is develop the academy.
Exactly.
Because he likes young players and he develops them well. Hence Mikey Halliday.
There you go. Jamie Whitmore. Benji will flip too. That's right. He's playing fantastic in Portugal. Joshua Tall. I definitely agree with you about Mikey Holiday. Yes, FC Dallas, Washington Lopez. That's right. Correct. Now, we have a game that is a historic game. We're going to be switching gears. We already talked about DC. It was a draw. Orlando right now is sitting on, let me put the standings right now real quick before we switch to, right now Orlando is sitting into, hold on, where is it right here?
We're in seventh.
Seventh place.
Yeah, we're in
Yeah.
seventh place right here.
And we still have not lost a game. Still undefeated, And the
Yep.
only other teams that are also undefeated are in the top three. So turn some
Yep.
draws into wins, and we'll be in the top three in no time.
Yeah, and we're not gonna go here and sit and talk trash about the teams, but I mean, I think Orlando is doing fantastic. We're gonna go game by game. It's a long season, and we clearly shown that we have the depth, right? We have the depth, so I'm positive. I'm faithful, But let's talk about what's happening. We are on the dawns of probably playing one of the biggest game in our history of our club. We have the chance of eliminating a big Mexican powerhouse like Tigres, and if we do that, we have on two next opponents are going to be as tough. I wouldn't say as big as Tigres, but definitely with some history that Orlando's going to have a tough time. I mean, they're Mexican opponents. So, what are your expectations out of this game, John? I see Orlando definitely trying to dominate possession in the first half, but I still see them playing very conservatively, and I still see Ramiro, still see maybe 2 double sixes. I don't know. What are your thoughts regarding this game?
I think we're going to play the 4-2-3-1. I think we're going to play a very similar lineup to what we played when we went there last week on Tuesday. I think we will be conservative, but we will obviously have to be attacking as well. A big thing for me is they're not bringing Gignac. So a lot of the chances that were produced when we went there last week was around or involved Gignac. So without him in that linchpin role in attacking midfield where everything runs through him, I feel like that makes them a lot weaker, and someone else in that team has got to step up. So I think we need to be more aggressive, obviously. But I also am aware that, we can't fully attack this team because they will come down the other end and punish you for doing that. So it needs to be a balance, which is Papi's perfect. This is what he does. He knows how to go out there and get you a 1-0 win. And, that's the tactics we'll employ for that exact idea, to go get a 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a tough matchup. Orlando is gonna be sold out. It's gonna be a big test for this squad. I think it's gonna be their first big test. It's also a big, I will say, it's a big way of showing the people that if Orlando is meant to do big things now with this squad and with this depth. So I think if Orlando makes a big statement on Wednesday, you definitely get butterflies in your stomach regarding this team, in my opinion, because the depth is there and it's just a matter of time. I don't know. What are your thoughts regarding that, Paola?
No, absolutely. And like John said, we need to be conservative. We need to attack. And Orlando had a better second half time in the last game. So if we stay compact and try to score on those opportunities, we're going to win. We're going to win. Like we pressure last Wednesday, and it's our house. We have to defend our house, right? So, and the morale of Tigres is super low right now. So we have to take advantage. They just lost. I don't know when, last night, John, last night, or I don't know, or
I think it
Saturday.
was Saturday. They lost the Club America.
They just lost.
Yeah.
So for them, had a tied last Wednesday. They just lost against Club America. This is the time that we need to take advantage of those stuff. They're not good in their heads. And if we maintain the compact, try to get the advantage of those attacking plays, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, they really got outplayed. Like if you look at the stats in that game, the XG of Club America was like double theirs. They had double the shots of Tigres. Gignac got a 5.9 rating on FootMob. So clearly something is up. They're not as vicious as they were a couple weeks ago, right? Coming into the game that we played before last Tuesday, they looked really, really hot. And now maybe they're having a bit of a wobble. Maybe this is the time where we can knock them and take a W. I mean,
I just really hope nobody gets injured. That's it, because they're super physical. They're malicious, and we just need to score on those open opportunities that we had last week, but we couldn't finish. But I'm pretty sure that they're watching that film all over again and repeat. So to stay compact on Wednesday.
I want to say regarding this game, we need to take advantage of the set piece. There's going to be a lot of set pieces. We have the players that are able to draw some fouls for Orlando City to do some set pieces, and we need to capitalize on those set pieces. I know for a fact if Orlando scores the first goal, the floodgates will open. And I really hope to see, Facundo go off. Maybe at home he feels more his home turf, with his people behind him cheering him. Maybe he feels more because I did see outside the stadium of El Volcán, there were some fans that were very receptive with the Orlando fans and things like that. But when the team was walking out through the hall, to the big tunnel, they were throwing crap at them. They were cursing at them. I saw it in other videos. So, I mean, I don't know, because Facundo was playing such big team like Peñarol in South America. They draw so much people in each game. I really think that he will be used to that kind of stuff. So I think if we get our DPs to work, we have this on the bag. I mean, Tigres doesn't realize it, but we should be confident. I mean, of our DPs now. and right now it's a tough time to talk about our DPS because they have not performed as much as we want them to. Kara, we've seen his form. Facundo, I've seen a couple of games. He feels like he's scared of going 1v1 with a player. He's not shooting from distance. Like that goal against Inter Miami that he scored last season, for example. We don't see that from him cutting through. He needs to find his way again. And then we have this on the back. What are you going to say, John? I think you were going to say something.
I thought it was interesting that Kara still didn't come on. Like, we played Faku as a striker. We played Ojeda as a striker in the last few games. Like, it kind of seems like Papi is like anybody but Kara right now, which I don't know whether I love or hate that. I think I'm kind of like, yeah, he's not performing. Yeah, he's not maybe the kind of striker we need. And maybe that's more important to Papi than anything else. Maybe he's like, I want someone up there who's going to run for me and who's going to be a mobile, physical striker who's going to try and run down the ball. So maybe for him, he'd rather play a winger as a striker who's going to do that than play Kara, who he knows is not going to do that. But I just thought it was really interesting that we made a lot of subs up front and brought on different people, but Kara was the last two games not on the bench, not brought off the bench once. So very interesting.
Yeah, indeed. Very interesting. From my understanding, we're going to be doing the starting 11 for Orlando, hopefully predicting that. I do have, I want to apologize. Our guest had an issue with his internet. He's not able to join us. But he did give me the starting 11 that Tigres is going to do tomorrow. Apparently, it's confirmed. So he has the scoop, and he just provided it to me. So I'll be adding the Tigres' squad in just a second. So I want to go ahead and just let everybody know. Drop us a like. Give your thumbs up if you're right now live. We have also, subscribe to our channel. We have a giveaway. If you want to check out our Twitter and Instagram, the steps are right there. All you got to do if you want to win 2 tickets to Wednesday's game, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and drop us a hashtag on the comment section. It says Loud and Proud Orlando all together, and drop us a like. So thank you so much. So to start, Orlando City, Galese, obviously, I think the best. Would you say he's the best player in the squad? I think he is.
Right now, yeah, absolutely.
I think right now Galese is the best player in the squad, right?
Yep.
Right, and then are we going to see the line of 4 or the line of 3?
4.
Oh,
I don't know if John.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be.
Yeah,
the
I think we're
4.
going to play conservative.
I think the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, 4-2-3-1. Yeah, I agree with you. So, who will be your 4? Let's start with Paola.
Petraso, same lineup that we saw last.
So Petraso and Holiday as your backs. Yeah, same
Yes.
here. Are you agree with that, John?
I put a very, very hopeful AC down on my life.
Okay, so you will put AC.
I said, please, maybe,
but I don't.
Maybe we've just been like, this is the game, just keep working on it, buddy. And then this is the game that, okay, now you're fit enough. We'll play you for the big game at home against Tigres.
I can see
it could
him.
happen. It could. Like, he's been on the bench. He's been training with them. So
I could see Schlegel and then AC coming for Schlegel.
I think Schlegel has been doing well. So I don't think it's necessary to bring AC in. So from that perspective, do you rush him? But he might not be rushed. This might have been the plan to prepare him for this game. Our
secret weapon. Can you imagine?
Boom. Have another center back to deal with. There you go.
Yeah, so we're going to put Holiday, Antonio Carlos, Jensen, and Petraso.
I did say it was a very hopeful Antonio Carlos.
So
now you're fixing it, John? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Let's put Schlegel.
I wish. I don't know. It's one that we need to get an update from. And
yeah.
Do you have anything on that one, Luis? Have you been to training this week, last week?
No. But From my understanding, is that he might have some minutes, but he's not going to start.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
coming in for Schlegel probably or Jansen. But John, sorry to burst your bubble.
Yeah, and Pareja,
Imagine hope, you know.
you know,
Imagine
Pareja,
hope.
Pareja, Pareja said it. They asked him in press conference at the practice. They asked him about keeping the same intensity throughout the long stretch of games. And I'm gonna quote it verbatim. He says, "Sometimes you need to choose. What do you want? Do you want consistency with the lineup and the players that are competing in the first team, or the main competition that we just had in this leg for the Champions League and try to advance? We still
Boom.
have 2 games in Major League Soccer, so you normally think you might make the players take off, but we want to choose consistency as we have to play them, even if we may not have them in this one game. Now we choose to go in another direction, which is making everyone belong and get minutes from every player and getting contribution for players who may not be a regular in the starting lineup. Players that have just come in who are in the lineup now too. So we're gaining that. We're gaining that we are having a deeper roster. All these changes are not just personal, but they're made for the model and the structure of the team as well. It is good in some things, but sometimes you feel like in the first half today, we do not look like us. I don't blame the players. I just think they're just trying to adjust to the system. So he's just pretty much saying, they're just trying to adjust to the system. They're brand new to the team.
See, Poppy has the patience that everybody else needs to have with this team and
Exactly.
this season. You know, he knows it's gonna gel and be fine,
Yeah,
and
because
we just got to believe in that too.
right, think about it. Petraso, Holiday, you have Abdi Salim, you have Dagger Dan. That's like 4 or 5 players right there I just named. They're brand new players. So I mean, right. So who are gonna be your mids? Araujo and
Mauricio. Well, that's a good one.
I'll go for Araujo and Cartagena. That's just me, but I don't know what you guys think.
Well, it's like I asked last time. You know, it's the what do we think Poppy's gonna put, and what do we want to put? I think it's gonna be Mauricio and Araujo,
And
but
Araujo, yeah.
but I would love to see. I think the second half against Tigres when we had Cartagena, and am I saying that right? You have to correct me when I say
Yeah, yeah,
Cartagena
yeah.
wrong because I
It's the
got told off
Cartagena.
because my bad Spanish pronunciations. But I think I would love to see those two. I think that the second half against Tigres, we look really strong with those two in there. But I think Pereira will be chosen because Papi loves him, and this is a big game, and he's a guy for big games.
And so the 3 out here, we're talking about Facu, right? Fundo. There's really no other player. Ojeda, right?
Ojeda. There you go.
I think we're all in agreement of that.
Now
We're
this is
still,
the. Go ahead. Sorry.
and right here, this is the doozy because I think Paula
Yes, I
wanted to
was
say
gonna
something.
say
Go ahead, go
that
ahead. You
one.
do it.
That one confuses me because Angulo just started with DC. So I will go with Gaston first, and then Angulo is going from the bench to come in. Gaston has had a couple of games. He's super physical. You can see it. And if Tigres is physical, let's put Gaston on it, and he can go up and down and defensively good. Angulo, we need that pressure and that fastness that he has, but he just that's the question mark there. I don't mind either both, but if we want to, it's just because he started against DC. So I really don't know. I don't know if you agree with me, John and Luis, but that's my
I think this is
train of
the
thought.
hardest call in this
Yeah.
lineup is exactly that. It's is it Angulo or is it Gaston? And I think it's gonna be I think it's the opposite of what you
The
think. I think
opposite.
it's
Yep.
gonna be Angulo because we've seen him get more starts this year and
Hmm.
because he started last week against them and because he's a little bit more defensively minded than Gaston is. But I do think you're 100% right. Gaston will come either way.
Either
One
way,
one
it's
will
gonna
sub for the
sub
other.
exactly.
That's gonna happen.
That's
So
the but
yeah,
that
we
was the
know that. We
curveball.
just don't know which one's going to start.
It,
I think Aston is a guy who needs space in behind. Like if someone puts a ball in behind for him on
mhm.
that left wing, he's just going to run down that left wing and he's going to run onto it and he'll be open. That's
And
what he needs,
we
and that
we see
hasn't
that.
happened for him yet,
We
right?
saw that and I don't know if you remember on the DC game, Jansen tried to cross the ball and pass the long ball to him, but he wasn't nearby. And I'm like, oh my god, when that connection hits, is going to be dreadful for the other opposite team. But I don't know if you saw that, but I was like, oh, this is gonna happen one day.
I just don't know if he's quite firing in old form. I think Angulo's in better form
Yep, I'm
right now, so that's
100%.
why I would go with Angulo to start. But
I
definitely,
think,
gets, like we said, they will sub for one another.
yeah, I think Angulo has gelled with the team better
Better,
than
yep.
Gaston. But I also think the size difference.
Yep.
And you probably think, how's that matter? Because Tigres, they have physical players on the wings. And we saw it at the game in Mexico that Angulo had some good, he was being himself, but there are times that he was drawing a lot of fouls as well. So personally, just because of he is easily knocked down, uh, he can sell the foul as well. And that is part of the sport. Whoever says, oh my God, you have to be a Puritan. This is not a foul. No, you have to sell the foul sometimes. Look at Neymar. He made a career out of selling the foul. So I see having three players that can do that with a very, you saw the Tigres players. They got upset for everything. They got in
Oh
your
yeah.
face. They started talking, just like we were doing in the preview. I think Angulo would come best, in my opinion, to start as well. And Gaston could be that change of pace player right in the second half because we can Angulo can be knocked down right outside the box. We can have a really a big free kick. Here's Mauricio Pereira with a cross, and then you have a goal from Araujo. You know what I mean? I'll take that as opportunities, in my opinion. So those three I wouldn't change. Now the question is this, guys, and I'm gonna throw it to Paola. You have three strikers. You have Ramiro Enrique. You have Duncan Maguire, the Haaland of the Harlan. And then you have Erjan Kara, our DP. Right now, as we stand, Monday, March 13, 9:38 p.m. Eastern, Kara officially, in the minds and hearts of all Orlando City fan base, is the third striker. Now, what are your thoughts regarding that? Are we still going to see him start?
You put me in that hot spot, but I don't see him start for this game. And I said it in the last in the last episode, and the reason why is Kara is not the right player to put pressure in the opposite side. We need fast and pressure players, and that's Ramiro Enrique. To be honest, maybe Kara can start in other teams that he can beat that defensive player, but it's not the right time. Maybe I don't know, 5 minutes like ending, but even though I will put Maguire over him for this type of game because you need to be fast. And Kara, that's the reality is Kara's not fast. That's the reality. You have to put the ball in the right spot for him so he can shoot. So Ramiro 100%. Probably people will hate me or not because of my comment, but Ramiro is going to be starting if he's 100% healthy.
What about you, John?
I agree entirely. I think, also, like we talked about, Oscar does not favor Kara, so it's not going to be Kara. The question is it Enrique or is it Maguire? Maguire is the only guy who scored from open play so far.
That's
so
right.
Maybe there's an argument. I did say on the last podcast, whoever
true.
scores goals is going to be in
true.
this claim a spot in the starting lineup. Having said that, I think maybe this one is a bit too big a game for Duncan. Great result against DC for him, and to get that first goal. But this is a huge game, and I think the South American part plays into it. I think Enrique is more used to playing against teams like Tigres. I think he looked very good in that first half against Tigres last week, and I think Pappy will remember how good he looks. And it was just a shame that it Probably a little bit dirty, I think, actually, by Samir on their side to
And we have
purposely
better
go
grass.
after him and try and attack him. So because he was causing them problems, right? So I think start Ramiro and let him have another go. Like, hey, you know, you had to end it early last week, but this week you could score a goal against them. So give him that chance, and 100% he's my guy up front.
I do want to say that this is the reason why I believe Ramiro will start, and I do feel the same as you guys. I think that I would love to see Urgent Kara maybe having his starting. You know, maybe he's gonna have some games for sure. He's gonna start, but I would like to see him maybe at the Leagues Cup, maybe a U.S. Open Cup. I think that he'd be definitely great. But when it comes to this type of game, you've seen how Tigres press. You've seen how Tigres plays you with, you know, with the mouth. They like to play mind games, and they like to trick you. They like to talk a lot. And Ramiro comes from a team that is Banfield. That it's they call them a working man's team. It's like a West Ham United. Like it's like they're a working man's team. They're rough. Like they don't back down for no one. So he's used to that type of camaraderie, as you want to say. So in transition, when Tigres is going up in attack, I see Orlando going like this. And this is why Ramiro is so important, because just the team stays compact the whole time, making it tough for Tigres to attack, because he's able to, okay, they lost the ball. Okay, Pereira, pass to Ojeda. Ojeda cuts. Ramiro runs. And here you go. So now you have a transition attack. So that's the reason why he can attack and defend and go back and forth in a faster paced manner in transition than maybe Duncan, which we still see some speed on him, but definitely more than Urgent Kara at the moment. Now, nothing bad to say about Urgent, but I'm just saying that there's going to be games for Urgent and there's going to be games for Ramiro. But like I said, Oscar Pareja is the coach. We're not the coach, so he may surprise us all and throw us a curveball, and tomorrow we may see Urgent Kara starting, and then we're, you know, or we may see Urgent Kara score a goal, and then we'll look like fools, you know. So we'll see what they can do, but I do believe this is a historic game. I do have the squad for Tigres. Obviously, like John was saying, Guignac will not be playing, right? And in his place, it's going to be pretty much the same lineup. It's going to be Ibanez right on top. But
who did not look very good when we played them.
Did not look very good.
He looked like, and didn't they sign him for like big money?
Yeah.
In the off season, so
yeah,
you know, he's one that's not working out so far for them. So I think there's a chink in the armor, is what I would say, right? There's a little bit, like, you know, they're showing their weakness, and if we can pounce on that, then this could be our time to take down a big giant like Tigres.
So according to our analyst, wish he would have been here, Josue, he said, without Guignac, offensively speaking, Tigres' responsibilities will land on Cordova. And we saw Cordova is the young kid with the blonde hair, right? The number 10. Now, how do you not make him uncomfortable by having a very physical mid? And that's why I feel like, I hope that in the starting lineup, we may not see Pereira. We may see him coming as a change of pace player and have Cartagena and Araujo, because I think with Cartagena and Araujo, we can keep more of the ball. We can recoup the ball because they have dynamic players like Diego Lainez. Lainez, he played in Betis last season. He's coming back to the Mexican League and playing in Tigres. And Lainez, he is a very dynamic, you know, kind of like a Facundo Torres. Obviously, I think Facundo is much better than him. But he's very silky type of player, you know, trying to put the ball between your legs, you know, so very fast. And I think the buck stops there when you have two defensive midfielders in the mid. When it comes to those type of players, so hopefully we may see Cartagena starting with Araujo, but I think like John says, maybe Pereira is what he's gonna go for. But it's gonna be he feels, according to our analyst Josue Lopez. I want to say hello. His prediction is a 1-1 tie at Exploria, which it will put us what? It will put us as we'll win it, right? I mean, right? No, it will tie the
I don't
series.
think so.
We go out on a 1-1 tie
Yeah.
because they get the away goal advantage.
Oh, they get the.
That's the problem with not
That's
scoring at their
bullcrap.
house.
That's
Like, it was
bullcrap.
great
That's
result,
ridiculous.
but if we'd have got like that, if they score, it makes it very difficult. Like, we got to then go score 2 goals, and as we talk about, we've not been scoring a lot. So this is why we need a Pappy special. We need a 1-0, and that's what we'll play for, and that's what we're gonna get. Everybody stay positive. The Pappy special will come.
Question: if it's a 0-0, we go to penalties, right?
Yeah, and then that's when that's where we win, because I'm sorry,
I believe there's extra time first.
Yeah,
Well,
me
yeah,
double
obviously
check on
extra
that.
time.
There's
Yeah,
two
I think it
15s.
should be the standard 30 minutes to 15
Yep.
minutes each
Yeah,
way,
2
and then
15s,
I would see penalties on Wednesday.
If
I don't
we
want to
gotta-
jump the gun, but
yeah, but if we go to penalties, I mean, we have the better keeper. I mean, and Nahuel Guzman, like they would say in Spanish, un pezuñento. Nahuel Guzman. I don't like him as a keeper, in my opinion. I think Gales is much better. But then again, who are gonna be our penalty kick takers,
it's true.
right?
I
Are
just
you
want to
gonna
wish
put
2-0 on Wednesday. Then
Are you gonna put that big backpack, that big turtle shell, like in Dragon Ball, the big turtle shell, to maybe Ojeda, to Angulo? I mean, they have to step up, right? I mean, it's part of the sport, but I mean, it'll be great to see if this team has that killer instinct right in the end, right? I mean,
so actually there is no overtime
there's no overtime,
according to Wiki.
so penalties. Fantastic.
So don't 100% quote me on that because I'm looking at the Wiki, but it does say if aggregate goals are equal, the away goals rules applied. We know that one. And if the away goals are equal, the game is decided by an immediate penalty shootout. There are no overtime periods. So it's kind of like the Leagues Cup. No, not the Leagues Cup. The Carabao Cup does that in England. There's a few other leagues around the world that don't want to play any extra time, and they just go straight to penalties. So that's what we'll be doing. So I don't know. I'm hoping just for 1 goal. Oh, look, the puppy is here.
Huh?
she was crying at the door. She's
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Oh, I want to go in. I want to go in."
She's
And
saying
then
your
we did.
podcast is
look at the
going on.
puppy.
Pay attention
Look,
to me.
She wants to. Wow, I'm adopting one, guys. By the way, too. So
Oh, really?
yeah, it's an American Bulldog mix. Please, guys, don't buy your dogs. Rescue dogs.
And we've digressed into dog talk
There you go.
completely. Sorry, everybody.
There you go, Joshua Tall. Oh wow, that's interesting. You say Gales is much better than their keeper, and I agree. Also, it would be interesting who our penalty takers would be. Chago del Ocho. Lanes was in Portugal, not Betis. Yeah, that's right. You caught me there. Calentando banca says, eating the bench like all the Mexicans. Is what it says. Chago del Gol. Nahuel Guzman is a beast for penalties. He beat America 5 years ago, he says. There you go. Does anybody know approximately how many Tigres fans we're expecting? About 1,000.
Yeah, the club has sold 1,000 tickets to people sitting in Tigre. Most of them probably living in Central Florida who are just
Isn't
Tigres fans.
that crazy, guys?
Where they're gonna sit on the corner, on the away corner, or
I don't think so, because based on the image that you showed earlier where the seats are available, that usually that top corner is the away corner, but they might have moved them somewhere else because there's so many of them.
Probably where I sit, like 106.
I think they'll be directly opposite
from the wall. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Thank God that I'm not gonna be there.
I think like 105, 106, 107 is my guess, and maybe round to 108, 109, which is the corner where they usually are. But expect a lot of Tigres fans up in that corner of the stadium.
Is that Dan 21? Galese is now better than Nahuel Guzman. I put my money where my mouth is. Galese is 30 times better. Galese es 30,000 veces mejor que Nahuel Guzmán. En su peor día, Galese es 30,000 veces. Nahuel Guzmán tiene que raparse ese pelo pezuñento que tiene el señor Nahuel Guzmán, ¿no? No, primero que todo.
I think we got people trying to troll you here, Luis.
Galese plays in CONMEBOL. Galese plays in CONMEBOL. CONMEBOL is in a different league, guys. If Mexico will play CONMEBOL, they'll be facing against Venezuela, Peru, Bolivia. I'm just saying, guys. Does anybody know? Oh yeah, thousands. There you go, guys. I'm getting all into it, like my other show.
Yeah, this is the English one, Luis.
It's too late.
You know, remember, this is the English show.
Focus.
Don't digress into Spanish.
There you go. I thought I saw 1,000 Tigres fans, but let's hope they don't pull a Frankfurt at Camp Nou last season. Well, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, I think the fan base of Orlando, it's very welcoming either way. I mean, there's not going to be no issues unless they make them themselves. Plus, OPD's right there. So let's see what happens. Any other predictions you guys may have? Anything else you guys want to add before we close? We're about an hour and 15-minute pod today.
Go on Wednesday, guys. The team needs you.
I'm going. I'll be there, guys. So I want to say, with all due respect, I really hope it's a great game. And I want to see an Orlando win. I think Orlando wins on Wednesday 2-0. And hopefully not a penalty kicks. I don't know. What are your expectations there, John?
I think it's the 1-0 Pappy special. I think we keep it tight and we steal a goal. And like Paulo said, I just really want us to show, win or lose, I want us to represent the league well and the club well. And that's why I want a packed house. I want to bring some atmosphere. I want to show, the rest of North America what Orlando City is about. Or MLS knows, but these Mexican teams don't know. So let's show them. It's important.
There you go. Paola, what are your thoughts?
Be part of the history. Win, tied, lose on Wednesday. I'm not going to jinx it. Win. Let's say win. Be there. They need you. All players that they have been interviewing, they said, we need you there. I'm going to go. It's a week, middle of the week, 8 p.m. Next day I work at 7 a.m. I don't care because I will be there supporting them. And Luis leave really, really far and he's coming in.
I live, a lot of people don't know. I live I moved to Tampa.
There you go. No
excuses. For the last year and a half, for anybody that's watching, yes, I've been driving to Tampa for about a year and a half. I've been covering the team for almost 2 years now. It's going to be 3 years this year. So, and I've been driving almost half of that, for the love of Orlando and the love of the city and the love of, and the content that we put out. And, there was a lot of love. Plus, I get to see my parents. So, I do want to say that, Tigres fans, if it's a positive result for Orlando, don't feel discouraged. I think your team is still a top-level team in Mexico. I have high respect of Tigres as an organization, as a team, as a fan base. Some of the Tigres fans were very nice to the Orlando people the fans that went to Monterrey. Nothing but good sportsmanship. And that's what you're going to find when you go to Exploria. You're not going to see no issues. I guarantee you. Hopefully you guys feel welcome there at Exploria. I think it's going to be a great matchup. And let's, make the best man win. You know what I mean? I know it sounds kind of cliche, but I feel like both teams have a huge chance. And but Orlando has the upper hand because they're at home. And I need to make or Exploria feel like it's a tough place to play for the opponent. So I'm hoping for a 2-0 win. Vamos Orlando, guys, right? We'll see you guys
Wednesday.
Vamos Orlando.
And the the tickets. We'll do the drawing tomorrow, guys. So drop us a hashtag. Check out our social media. Take care, guys.
Have a
Vamos
good one.
hablando.